and you start to speak English, here's what happens. And by the way, these revelations came out in 1998 with healing codes for the biological apocalypse. If you're just beginning in this kind of like initiation into reality, to the truth that shall set you free, you might want to start with healing codes for the biological apocalypse and then graduate to where we now are, love the real Da Vinci Code. So Dr. Palaio back in 1996 had a couple of visions. He saw numbers and letters on his windshield. And he learned that there's an alpha-numeric. For every letter, just like in gematria, for every letter, there's a number. An alpha-numeric relationship. And that he took the words, the English language, like you see here, A to Z, 1 to 26. So it's 1 through 9, 1 through 9, 1 through 8. You see that? Now, you take the words faith, trust, and God. Oh, isn't that interesting? They're all 8s. The infinity sign. Well, so then what you do is you take the number 8. And in the Bible, the Creator never adds, never subtracts, always multiplies. This acceleration of your divine inspiration and your spiritual evolution is exponentially accelerating because it's multiplying. And so you take the numbers 8 and do the multiples of 8. 1 times 8 equals 8. 2 times 8 equals 16, where 1 plus 6 is 7. 3 times 8 equals 24, plus 2 plus 4 is 6. 4 times 8 equals 32, where 3 plus 2 is 5. You see the countdown pattern, don't you? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 9, 8, 6, 5, 3, 2, 2. See it? Which is the what? The English alphabet backwards. So the sacred languages of Hebrew, ancient Aramaic, Babylonian, and Sanskrit were sacred. They were considered sacred languages. Why? Because when you spoke them, the resonant energy had an immediate divine intercommunication, communion, and a divine interpersonal connection. You had this heartfelt, loving understanding. And now you understand why, for those of you who are married, you say A to your spouse, and they hear B. There's no connection. That's now you understand why men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Because ultimately the heart-loving connection is blocked mathematically, frequency energetically. So now you take, interesting thing, you take the English alphabet backwards, add it to the English alphabet forwards. 8 plus 1 is 9, 7 plus 2 is 9, 6 plus 3 is 9, 5 plus 4 is 9. It's always 9. What does that tell you? It means that there's a perfection in the English language. That means that it was designed, it didn't happen by chance. Some genius did it. And they did it to have the exact impact that I'm telling you. To dumb you down maximally. To make you think that you're simply a human being when in fact you are a superhuman being now emerging from the gross deception. Because it's time. Now take the multiples of 3, 6s, and 9s and you see why Tesla said, and it wasn't just Tesla, Pythagoras, Vitruvius, Aristotle, Plato, all talked about the 3, 6s, 9s, and 8s. And the 8s. So they're special. All multiples of 3, 6, 9 always give you 3, 6, and 9. And so when you now have the revelation of the original musical scale, the core creative frequencies of reality, you realize they are 396, 417, 528, 639, 741, and 852. That is all 3s, 6s, and 9s when you do the Pythagorean mathematical conversion. Rodin, the first time I had the first mathematical genius, and I'm humbled and privileged to work with the world's leading physicists and mathematicians right now, who have advanced so many wonderful blessings of revelation regarding 528 Hertz frequency of love. And all of these numbers and what they really mean and how they fit with sacred geometry, and cosmology. Everything in the universe now, we understand, is based on this system. And Rodin was the first that I met. I had never known him before. He was invited to do a presentation. I was sitting in a living room in Hawaii, and Rodin was there presenting with other physicists and mathematicians, and he started to put these numbers of his matrix that he came up with from this simple array. He starts right there, real simple. And then he goes into more complex analyses where he creates the matrix of the universe. And he put them on the board, and I'm looking, holy smoke, this guy's putting up the solfeggio frequencies. 396, 417, 528, 63, repeating in a matrix. And from this simple work, he developed the more complex toroid structure of the universe. So this is Rodin's toroid. Now, sitting in the audience is a fellow who you should definitely get to know. His name is Nassim Haramein. He's a metaphysical physicist who took Einstein's field equations and factored in torque, spin, and velocity and advanced Einstein's work dramatically to come up with his structure of the universe. I'll show you in a second. He said to Marco Rodin in this audience, he says, Marco, I appreciate your work. He says, but you don't have it quite right. You forgot polarity. What goes up must come down. There's a positive, there's a negative. He says it's not a single toroid. The real structure of the universe is a double toroid. So the ResonanceProject.org presents you Nassim Haramein's work that shows you the structure of the universe is a figure 8. And if you see his animation, well, it's spinning. You see it has a spinning, spiraling, and coming back to the beginning, just like a figure 8 does. Now you have just learned how come what goes around comes around. You just learned, as you sow, so shall you reap. You just learned that paying it forward is a great blessing to you. You just learned that giving is receiving. You just got shifted out of this whole ignorance, this paradigm of scarcity consciousness, into the great abundance, the way the world really works. So, Hartmut Müller, Russia's top space-time physicist, concurs. He basically evaluated the structure of the standing gravitational wave of the universe. And he said, you know what this looks like exactly is on the cosmic level, it reflects the microscopic level of DNA. And so now you play with this, as I did. He said that there's in 6 nodes. You see on the lower left side of the chart, it says in 6. His thesis advanced that there are nodes into which physical reality manifests. Doesn't happen everywhere along the wave. It happens in certain spots where the energy, just like at the center of a figure 8, bingo, there's a unique spot, one spot where the energy vectors cross. Right there is a node. And he says in the grand standing wave of the universe, there's 6 places that actually physical reality manifests within the wave. He calls it the in 6. Now what does the Bible tell you? In how many days did the Creator create the universe? In 6. And by the way, you know this thing that's called the Sabbath? You know there's Sabbath keepers? They tell you to keep the Creator's day holy. And you think that that's a big, trip. That's one of those religious world trips, right? Wrong. Wrong. If everything's in 3, 6s, and 9s, and I can show you the science, simply creation, if you want to be an optimal creative power and have optimal success, then you don't want to work 2 days, 4 days, 5 days. You want to work 6 days. You don't want to work 7 days. Because you're far, far, far more effective because of the way the system works. This universal spiraling spinning is the same reason why your DNA, and you see now, the structure of your DNA, there's Marco Rodin's infinity pattern. on every single gene